So, what would you like your story to be about tonight?
Mm, mm, about um about mm, uh, a guy that was super powerful that could kill anyone in fights, and he was called the Master of blah blah blah,
Hmm.
and he was a dog.
A dog.
And all yes, and all of the rest on the village was cats, all of them. And he had a cup that had his that had a word that said samurai.
Okay, this is the story about Fluffy. Fluffy was a wolf, which is a type of dog that um, had been separated from his pack because he had been trying to be the alpha male of the pack, and he challenged the dominant male, and the dominant male showed him a lesson, and so Fluffy had to abandon the pack. And as he was roaming all alone, he was getting hungry, and he found this bowl of food from some campers. And I think the brand of the bowl of food was a camping gear brand called Ninja Warriors or something. So it said Ninja Warriors in the site. But I mean, Fluffy didn't even know how to read, so all he knew was that it smelled like there was food in there because some humans had been recently eating. And so he snuck behind the campground, snatched the Ninja's brand bowl, and took off running. And suddenly, a person that was in the campsite was like, "Oh no, my food!" and started chasing after Fluffy. Well, Fluffy was running so fast that he didn't realize that he jumped a cliff, landed into a lot of water, all this with a bowl of food still attached to his mouth, and the water took him to a small island in the river where he finally cut his grip and was able to breathe and start enjoying the food that was in the bowl. So he put his whole face inside of the ball and started licking away, and there was very little to be had. And suddenly he heard a noise. Meow! Oh, more food, perhaps, thought Fluffy. No! Ooh, it's a cat. This I can totally eat, he thought. And then he lifted his head above the bowl. And guess what he found?
What?
1,000 kittens. It was an island where only kittens were alive in there. There was no other animals unless there were animals that kittens didn't care about. And the kittens lived by hunting for fish and sometimes killing a bird or things like that. And suddenly, one of the dominant kittens said, "Make way. I must see who this new visitor is." Well, the kittens had never seen a dog before, let alone a wolf. So he thought it was an oddly shaped kitten. And he heard the prophecy that a wolf, alien kitten would come to visit and become the king of the kittens. And so he decided that that was not to happen and he would challenge this weird shaped kitten. And of course, you can imagine how that fight went. The wolf won the fight and became the king of the kitten island. But of course, he was the king because he was not a kitten, so he was much stronger than the kittens. And the kittens would bring him fish and fruits and things. He almost never thought about eating one of the kittens because he was having such a great life. The kittens treat him like a king. But one day, he realized he was missing something. he understood that what he was doing was not really because he was the king of the kittens, but it was because of the kitten's ignorance of the truth. The truth that he was a wolf, he was not a kitten. The truth that he was not the chosen one, he was simply somebody that took advantage of the situation and was now using the kittens. And he started growing nervous because even as the kittens would bring him the freshest meats, the fish from the sea, and sometimes perhaps a can of corn or something that had washed ashore, even so, he knew that if the kittens found out his secret, they would immediately expose him and he would have no more power. Because, of course, he could fight one kitten, but he couldn't fight 1,000 of them. And so it was that he was growing ever more distrustful of the kittens. Sometimes he would lash at them when they would offer him food because he would think that it must be poisoned. And so that consumed him. After a while, he almost refused to eat anything that he wouldn't see the kitten catching himself out of the ocean. And all the kittens in the island would speak of how evil this new kitten king was, and nobody liked him. But nobody would dare challenge him because it was the prophecy that had put him there. Until one day, a little child, a 7-year-old kitten named Alex, walked up to where the king of all the kittens was and said, "I don't think you're a kitten. You look like a different animal and you shouldn't be our king." Ah, gasps were heard across the whole island. Somebody dared challenge Mr. the God King of the Kittens himself, let alone a 7-year-old kitten. But the kitten at this point, the wolf at this point, was so desperate, so scared, so sure that everybody would see his secret, that fear itself drove him to madness, and he ran and ran into the beach, and he took off swimming and didn't stop until he was far away from the island. And that day was the day that that 7-year-old kitten named Alex became the new king of the island, because it was the only one that had ever challenged the huge, huge kitten. But Alex knew the secret. The secret was that that was no kitten, that his reality had been hijacked. And that's the story that you asked for. I hope. The end.
I didn't ask that story.
Did you like it though?
No, I didn't like it because it's not what I asked for. I didn't ask for a wolf. I asked for a dog.
Wolves are dogs. It's like different breeds of dogs.
Yeah, but I just want a dog.
That's
No
a
wolves.
dog.
Just a dog.
That's a dog. A wolf is a type of dog, just like a Rottweiler is not a Rottweiler and not a dog. It's a dog. It's a type of dog. A Chihuahua is another type of dog. They're all dogs. A wolf is another type of dog. It's just a different breed.
I know. I just don't like wolves. I don't want any wolves.
Okay.
I don't even want wolves in my stories.
Why?
Because I hate wolves.
Remember the petting zoo where we took the turtle?
Yeah.
You saw a couple of wolves there and they were beautiful, and you said you liked them and they reminded you of Wolfie Girl. Actually, wolves look exactly like Wolfie Girl, which you like very much. And Wolfie.
Still don't like
I think you're confusing them with coyotes, which are the guys that go outside.
No.
Plus, there are no wolves around here anyways. Unless you go to a zoo. Okay, but I'm sorry I didn't like tonight's story. Tomorrow we'll do a better one then.